in 2018, I got offered a job at Mikkeller in New York City to be like the
Is that how you pronounce it?
Mikkeller? Yeah,
Okay.
They say that, but like, American, it's Mikkeller or
If
McDonald.
you go over to Denmark, they say Mikkeller.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they had just started, and they needed to add a second person to the team.
In New York, is that right by the Mets Stadium?
It was in the Mets Stadium,
Mets Stadium.
Cool.
Yeah. And so I was working there for a few months, and then Ariel came on, and that's where we met.
Welcome back to Brew That Podcast. I'm your host, Richie Tevlin, joined as always by Evan Blum.
Hello.
Today we have on, if not the hottest new brewery in the city. Very cool. It made the exclusive Beer Mill Dave's top 5 breweries of the year list to look out to.
We love Dave. Shout out Dave.
Shout out Dave. Sgraffito.
Yep.
We have Ariel Schwarz and Scott Graham. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Super excited to have you on. Your guys' names, the Sgraffito, kind of like everything that you're doing has come up a couple times with the past conversations, so it's fun to actually get you guys in here. We're going to learn all about kind of how you guys got to where you're at now.
Yeah.
But before we do that, let's get to the beer.
Yep.
So are you ready to crack this open? So this is Convivium, right?
Convivium.
Your Pilsner, which I want to talk about it because it's not just a standard Pilsner. You have some other stuff in there that's fun. There we go. Let's drink these things fast.
Yeah, Jesus, they all did it. Sorry.
Mine didn't.
It's just shotgunned it.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, well, so be it. If you want to talk about the beer, it's your recipe, so.
Yeah. So Convivium is a German Pilsner that we have dry hopped. I think the fashion name is an Italian Pilsner.
It's fancy.
It's fancy. We have a pretty normal malt bill for it, with the exception that we added some oats to give it a little bit of body. A lot of Italian Pilsners and like, I don't know, with this one, I guess, but a lot of them have some additional adjunct malts in them. So with this, we added a little bit of Vienna and a little bit of Munich. The first iteration we did of this beer, we did not have Munich malt. We added a little pinch of it just because we were trying to dial in some of the malt character in the body. This is a single decoction. Hops are Saaz, Hersbrucker,
and
thank
then
you.
throughout the boil, and then Saphir dry hop.
Yes,
Cool.
thank you.
Yeah.
And I know you guys were public about like the recipe was changing a little bit.
Yeah, so the first batch we did, we loved. I mean,
Yeah.
But it was a little bitter, and didn't necessarily have all of the malt to back it up. So we changed it just a little bit for this one, and then we want to find a happy medium in between.
I mean, every brew system's different.
Yeah,
like,
for
you
sure.
guys aren't brewing this yourselves, so it's like you really don't know exactly what it's going to be like until you brew it. So it's a living beer.
Yeah, exactly. So we're contracting now. This beer we made up at Jim Thorpe with Brightpath.
Cool.
We linked up with them when I was getting quotes and stuff for like Proformas and making business plans and stuff.
Yeah.
Reached out to Specific Mechanical and Scott from Specific Mechanical.
The dude.
The dude, yeah. And he said, "Oh, they have exactly what you are looking for. So, and also they might be interested in contracting." So, yeah. They were great. They make great beer. So,
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. This beer is great, and I know that I didn't have your first batch, but even Dave was like he really liked this batch compared to your last batch.
oh, good
Yeah.
to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love them both. I think, in my opinion, I would next time we've talked about this is just use the same hop schedule you use with this one, and just remove the Munich again and go all Vienna with the rest of it.
I love Vienna. I think
Yeah.
Vienna is like I mean they're very similar, but I like Vienna more than Munich. On
I
a
do
lot of my
too,
beers.
and
Yeah.
this is just like a little bit
The
too
Munich-
dark for us, and like
Yeah, the
all
Munich
that
also
stuff.
I think provides like some like dark, like dried fruitiness to it, if that makes sense.
The Vienna's a little bit more sharp sweetness. It's like a
Yeah.
little bit more clean.
yeah,
Yeah.
less
And
dark fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this kind of gives me like a raisiny date character like through the Munich malt, which is fine and I like it. Like
It's cool though. It's just nuanced. It's not
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
One of-
right. It's not like
yeah.
a date beer. It's
Well,
it's a very much
no.
like a hoppy, herbal,
Yeah.
floral
Yeah.
pilsner.
I just think that like those are just tasting notes that I pick up when I'm
Definitely.
thinking about like recipe formulation and then tasting it like as it's.
Yeah, I mean,
in
as
brew-
career brewers, like we're our
I'm
own
very
biggest
am-
critics
yeah.
and always wanting to tweak. And Convivium will be one of our core offerings when we're fully up and running.
Cool.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, I love the fact that you guys are using Saphir hops. I think
Yeah,
those hops are awesome.
Saphir.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like it.
It's not my favorite, but
I like
Ariel's brought me into loving it. So,
Well, that's-
I think it's a perfect accent hop.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it. I think that, especially in the first iteration, because we had more, that you got like this really great herbal, like hearty herb character out of it, like rosemary cracker thing going on.
Yeah.
Which is a common, I think, like a very common, like note that I've heard in not just the beers that I've brewed with it, but like with anybody who's brewed with Saphirs,
Yeah.
tend to get a lot of like hearty herbs, but then there's also like a fruit character to it too. Not like hazy IPA fruit character, but
Yeah. But good for this beer.
Dope.
Yeah.
What you guys are going for.
yeah, exactly.
Cool. So, Convivium. Well, let's start. This is like the most cheesy thing to do with a beer podcast, but the name Sgraffito. Where did that name come from?
I mean, it's not cheesy to ask. It's
No,
important, and it's
it
also
is.
like a different language. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'll start, and you can pick it up from there. We were looking, we were thinking about names for a long time. Like we've known each other, met working, and like kind of decided pretty quickly that we wanted to likely open a brewery together. So
Yeah.
we had been brainstorming stuff for a while. Nothing felt right, and like at any time we would like workshop a name outside of like between us, talking to other people about it. Like we never found something that stuck. And then as we were like coming up and visiting Philly over the years, before we decided to move here, like we would go to the art museums. I think we were at the Barnes.
Bounce Foundation, yeah.
Yeah, looking through all the Impressionist art, and Ariel was like reading about the techniques and
I wasn't even just reading about it. I've known about this technique for a long time. I just think that, I don't know, when you spend a lot of time searching for something, it feels like endless. And I felt like when we went through, I don't know, I mean, we've explored, and art has been kind of a tether in our relationship in a way.
Yeah.
And when we went to the Barnes Foundation, I think we were just kind of like,
How does it
we just were going there to see art, and it just clicked at a point because I was just
is there
looking
something in the
around.
art museum that like?
so the name
I mean-
Sgraffito means to scratch away and reveal something underneath.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and its most common form, they're talking about it in like ceramics.
Okay.
But it's also
Specific,
used
yeah.
in Impressionist art, where they would take the back of the paintbrush or something and scrape away their layers, like reveal all the colors.
Right.
underneath.
They like layer
Cool.
oil paint on top of each other, and then they take their little like
And reveal
the
it.
metal palette.
And we love that because,
scrape
like-
away and reveal like kind of like a catalog of layers of paint and colors to expose like the design they're trying to come.
And we love that for our name because one, we love art; it's a huge connection for us. But also, like we want to Ariel's has like a queer person in beer, has always felt in the minority amongst like us, and like wanted to like show how much is buried underneath like the history and like idea of beer that not everybody sees. I mean, it's coming out more and more as we get
and also
through the years.
like
but-
we don't want Sgraffito to be a business and a brewery that is just like, okay, we make beer, come drink it
for face value, yeah.
for face value. Yeah, we want there to be something deeper than just beer, and we also want the beer to be very good. Like you kind of have to have both these days. But to me, it meant, like there are layers to this industry, and there needs to be more than just like, okay, we made beer, come drink it, right? Like,
Yep.
we're gonna do, I don't know, we want to have it be an event space. We want to have it be a communal space that people can come with their like community groups and meet, and not have some like, oh, well, it's an event, so we have to charge you a price. Like, no, come
Got
fucking
mutual aid driven.
Yeah,
all
mutual
sorts of
aid
stuff.
driven. Do community work with that. Community food banks, art, like just explorations and art. Have people come and like hang their art on the wall that are available for purchase. We know we're not the only brewery that wants to do that or that has done that. That's
Yeah.
But you're making it a
places,
core
but-
principle as part
Yeah.
of your
Yeah,
business.
and like just to
Yeah.
bring it back to the name, like we were there in the museum. Ariel was talking about the technique, and then as we were driving back to Asheville, where we lived at the time, Ariel's like, "How about that as the name for all these reasons that we're talking about now?" And it just
Yeah.
clicked. And then as we continued to think about it more and more, it just felt right. And then we started working with our artists, and all the stuff coming out of it was so good that we just loved it. And it's not the easiest thing to say, and no. people sometimes mess it up, and that's great.
Yeah, but I don't really care about that. I literally have had. I mean, I don't know if either of you've met Rosie from Dock Street.
We have not. We talked to her. Yes, they should be coming on hopefully.
So we went and we met her, and we were talking, and she was asking us about the brewery, and she's like from Italy, like she was born in Sicily, and she was like, Sgraffito, it's not that easy to say, and I was just like, I don't know if that was an Italian accent, so I'm really sorry. Sorry, Italians. But I was like, "What you said?" Yeah. I was like, "You're saying it fine. That's all that matters." No, I think it's
not only is it easy to say, it's fun to say.
It's fun to say, yeah. But also, like, who cares?
And also, the pronunciations are fun.
Yeah.
I work at Fountain Porter in South Philly, and they were nice enough to bring some of our beer on, and we haven't had it for a while. And one of the customers asked me if we had any of that spaghetto. I actually loved that, and we'll probably use that for something.
Spaghetto. Yeah.
What's the what's spaghetto? Isn't that like the Miller High Life with the Aperol?
That's a
spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Yeah, an Aperol. Yeah.
It probably won't be that. It'll probably be our light beer.
But yeah, I mean, long story short, long story long, that's the name. Cool.
Yeah. Thanks, Barnes Foundation,
and art in general.
Yeah,
and then Convivium.
It really got the juices flowing.
This is our only beer so far. We've made this twice. Convivium is Latin for banquet, and
not that it's meant to be
like an American macro, but
not like that.
Is everything going to be Italian based?
No,
names?
We don't really have that rule. I mean,
Convivium's Latin. So.
Levante is a Latin or Italian name.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just am like, I think with Convivium it stuck. I was having, at the time that I came up with the name for it, I was having a lot of conversations with friends about, and like being in community and gathering with like people that you hold dear, and like doing not necessarily like a podcast, but like sitting around a table with friends, sharing foods, sharing drinks, having convivial times. And I think I remember saying it in a conversation, then I was like, I wonder if that's a beer name. It should be. And then I like wrote it down. I have like a laundry list of names of all types of ideas and all that stuff.
We haven't really talked about having like a naming convention. I don't think we're going to be super dogmatic about it. I mean, other than the fact that we want at least, even if like the words aren't going to be simple, like not like a whole bunch of words, like a couple here and there, but like something concise.
Yeah. That's what you were talking about, like you guys brew a beer at Carbon Copy.
Yeah.
Like their names are like made up words that are like one or two syllables.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that we're necessarily trying to do that. I don't know. I haven't thought about that, like whether or not we're gonna have like a name that's like 4 words long or 2 words or just one. It just kind of like if it comes to me and it's good, then I throw it into the like idea cauldron, and if we both like it, then it gets added to like the permanent name list.
So short names. We're gonna stretch here. The Evil Twin model, just making a name a sentence.
Yeah, that's okay too.
But
Evil Genius?
No, Evil Twin.
Evil Twin does that too.
Ariel does
They're
it.
not the only place that does it. Burial does it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
But I mean, like, we're not like developed enough in a brand identity to be like, oh, for all of our lagers, we're gonna do 2-syllable words or like whatever.
Right.
But it'll develop over time.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it gets good. It's like you figure out what it is as you're growing.
Yeah. Right.
Are you a brewer looking to open, grow, or plan your next move? I'm Ted Zeller, liquor law attorney at Norris McLaughlin. I've spent my career working with breweries, helping them navigate the regulations that come with this industry at the municipal, county, state, and federal levels. From first permits to expansion into new markets, my team serves as legal counsel on licensing, compliance, and distribution. If you're ready to plan your next move or need legal guidance, I am here to help. Feel free to call me at 484-765-2220 or email me at tzeller@norris-law.com.
Hey, brewery or small business owner. At the Beer Accountant, they understand the unique financial challenges of the craft brewing industry. Come find our booth at the Craft Brewers Conference in the Grand Hall next to the Brewers of PA in Philadelphia this April. Mention the Brewdad podcast and get a free gift. Are you tired of navigating complex brewery accounting and taxes on your own? Staying up late working on financials and getting your finances in order after a whole workday? They're a CPA dedicated to helping breweries like yours thrive, with services ranging from qualified bookkeeping, business tax prep, to strategic financial planning. Stop wasting time on spreadsheets and focus on what you do best: making great beer and running a small business, servicing over 50 breweries in 4 states. So if you own a brewery or small business, stop overpaying for reactive support and start being proactive with the Beer Accountant. Don't brew that IPA without this CPA. Visit beeraccountant.com to learn how their specialized expertise can help your brewery grow, profit, and succeed.
Going off Evil Twin, Mikkeller. You guys met at Mikkeller?
Yeah, we did.
Can we start at, I guess, your guys' entry point into craft beer? And then I don't know if that's when you guys met or kind of can you give where's the origin story start between the two of you guys?
I can start and then you can pick up.
Begin in the swamp.
Okay.
I'm from Florida, from Gainesville, Florida.
Swamp boy.
I went to school in Miami.
Go Gators.
Go Gators and go Canes.
Oh.
I went to school at University of Miami for music. When I was there, one of my friends, I was like juniors or something. I graduated there in 2013, so probably like 2012. He was like, "Hey, we should like start making beer." And I wasn't like really like super into the idea. I mean, I liked drinking beers. And then we like homebrewed. We got like there was no homebrew shop or anything, so we bought all the stuff on Amazon, and it all came, and we made it. And I absolutely loved it. And so like a year later, I'm like building like a 3-tiered system out of a ladder and like buying all sorts of tools and like reading all the water, hops, malt, and yeast books religiously and like listening to all sorts of like Randy Mosher podcasts while I'm like working at my customer service job for like a boutique sports compression apparel company. And so I'm like spending all my time day drinking that beer, trying to like get jobs in breweries in Miami. And then like my mom from my hometown knew some people that were starting a brewery, and so I ended up like getting on the ground floor with this brewery in Gainesville, Florida called First Magnitude in 2014, just like bartending and then homebrewing like a maniac, and then eventually pilot brewing, and then becoming like cellar lead brewer, all sorts of stuff. And then we won a couple of gold medals of GABF and all this stuff. And then in 2018 I got offered a job at Mikkeller in New York City to be like the second.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Mikkeller? Yeah,
Okay.
they say that, but like American, it's Mikkeller or
If you
Mikkeller,
go over to Denmark, they say Mikkeller.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they had just started, and they needed to add a second person to the team.
In New York, is that right by the Mets Stadium?
It was in the Mets Stadium,
Mets
yeah.
Stadium.
Cool.
Yeah. And so I was working there for a few months, and then Ariel came on. And that's where we met in Ariel. I came from a homebrewing background too, if you want to talk about it.
So I was introduced to homebrewing when I was in college as well, although I did not start in college. One of my friends, like in my little, my little gang of boys that I hung out with, we were all in like poli-sci classes together, and then we became friends. We started hanging out, and one of my friends, Milan, he was like, "Hey, yeah, so like I started homebrewing," and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And he was like, "Yeah, check it out. I made like a pumpkin beer." Of course. And he just like, they had a house party. It was literally during a house party. Like we're all hanging out, and like him and a couple friends, he's like, "Come on, I'll show you." We like go to his like basement bedroom and his like closet, and it's just like, it's like a bucket of beer. And he's like, "You guys want to try it? It's still fermenting." And I was like, "Nope, I'm good." But I did try it later, and I was like, "It's a beer, I guess." But yeah, that's like kind of the intro to like how I was like, "Oh, you can make beer at home. That's kind of cool." And that was when I was living in Minnesota. I'm from Minnesota, and I was at the University of Minnesota, so I was living downtown Minneapolis. And then I moved to New York in 2013 when I graduated with my ex, and we liked craft beer. We hung out with people who enjoyed craft beer. I'd never, after that point, didn't think about it. And then I got a job working at this huge international institution. Met one of my best friends. Her and her husband also were into craft beer, and they started homebrewing around the same time as us. We started hanging out. We like went to Other Half before it was Other Half, when it was like, I don't know.
It's 2013. That's when they started, right?
Yeah, so we went
Yeah, a
there
bunch of brown ales
shortly.
and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Almost all the beers on their tap list were literally like total like dad beers, like dark beers, and I think I had like a mild or something like that. And we had started homebrewing, like tandemly, but the first few batches don't really go out so well. And then I left that job, and I kind of was in between jobs, and went into the local homebrew shop, which closed last year, called Bitter and Esters, and I got a job there, and I was employed by them for I was on their payroll for like a very long time, whether or not I actually worked or not for a year, but I started kind of getting way too into it when I started working there, and I bought a bunch of equipment. And in New York City, you kind of have to brew on your stove unless you are like gifted by the landlord gods with a backyard to
You get
be able
one
to
of those
set up like a
control
propane.
departments.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So we were brewing like 5-gallon batches on our stove, and
I don't miss those days.
Yeah.
I like do when I don't. I don't miss the beginning like iterations of homebrew, like those homebrew flavors.
Yeah.
Where everything went wrong. That being said, like some of the best beer I've ever had was homebrewed. Wild ales and like Brett beers.
Well, yeah. I mean,
But-
a big part of your early break experience is with the homebrew club in New York.
Yeah. So like so I started at this
Yeah.
homebrew shop. Sorry. ADHD, wild drug. Started at this homebrew shop, Bitter and Esters, was working there, got really into it. At that point in time, I'd also joined a homebrew club, the Breweries, which I think still kind of an honorary member of. And they've been around for 10 years now, over 10 years.
Did you ever overlap with any of the Grimm artisanal people? Because I know that they were homebrewing for a while, right? Before
I
they-
know Joe and Lauren.
Okay.
I actually worked at Grimm as a barback while I was brewing at Mikkeller.
Okay.
So I know them. I had met them before I like started brewing professionally, just
Yeah.
because I was like sort of in the
homebrew
industry
scene, yeah.
in a way, and like they would always go to Copenhagen, and then we would at home like after bottle swaps and stuff at Bitter and Esters, we would go to Copenhagen and like run into people.
What's Copenhagen?
Copenhagen is a craft beer shop or craft beer like bar in Prospect Heights, Brooklyn.
Cool.
It's like if you know where a Gold Star is, it's like walking distance from there. They're like both neighborhood craft beer bars in Prospect Heights that are both fantastic. But I joined the Breweries, and at the same time that like my friend Rachel had joined as well, who I was like, her and her husband were brewing, me and my partner were brewing. We joined the Breweries together, and then like I think the following year or like 2 years later, Rachel and I ended up running for like president and vice president. Rachel was president, I was vice president. And we did that for 2 years. And during that time period, I kind of had like thrown myself into craft beer in the non-brewing way, where I was like working at bottle shops, working in the homebrew shop, bartending. I had applied to this job at Mikkeller as like a cellar person or like assistant brewer, and heard back from them and accepted the job after I went in for a working interview.
Which is where we met.
Which is where we met.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. That's like where it kind of started professionally. Although when I was bartending at Strong Rope, I was showing up like hours before my shift and just like going into the back and just being like, hey, teach me everything you know. And like started that way in a way too, where I was just kind of like not being paid to do labor.
Yeah.
Electively.
So neither one of us
Electively.
have like traditional beer education. Like we didn't go to Siebel or like UC
Yeah.
Davis or anything.
No.
But I was like
School of Hard
super.
Knocks.
Yeah, I mean, we both did a lot of reading. I was super fortunate to have an amazing mentor at this first magnitude placing day in Zeller, Eric Dreyer, and John Denny. Both we were kind of like running the team, and also I was there at the same time. Me and Jim Barry from Barry House in Tampa cut our teeth together there as well. So he's up to an awesome lagers there. But because I got such good mentorship there, I was able to help Ariel get up to speed pretty quickly
Yeah.
in the professional world. as well.
How many people were on that? Like, what kind of system was that?
We had a 3-vessel 20-barrel.
In the baseball stadium? It was 20-barrel
with
system?
like 25
Oversized.
fermenters and
Yeah,
5
it was
tanks. It was
really
crazy.
cool.
They were
Oh my
stacked on top of each other.
It was huge.
It's crazy.
It was like a $15 million facility.
It was a big
It was a huge. Oh my god, it was enormous. But there were 4 of us.
There's 4 of us. Well, there's 3 of us.
We were
when you
not max.
started.
Well, yes, but
And
there
then
was
we got
not,
a 4th.
Not maximum capacity. But when I started, I was like the 3rd hire in the back,
Yeah.
and it was Scott and I, and our still very close friend Katie Cochran, who's worked in the industry for a very long time.
She's from Philly.
Who's from Philadelphia.
So it lives out in Washington State.
In Bellingham.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we hired our 4th person on, and then it was just the 4 of us, and we like swapped responsibilities like week by week.
Yeah, we did all the brewing, packaging, cellaring.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was
You guys were
fantastic.
canning there? Or just kegging?
Canning. We had a wild goose.
Oh, cool.
50.
Very, very, very nice.
Were
and
you-
also problematic?
Was it distributing then throughout the city as well, or was
Yeah.
it all? It was.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were the distributor. The free it was, and also we did some self-distro.
What, and how does that work? I mean, your parent company is on the other side of the
It was
ocean.
technically franchised.
Yeah, it was things did run through Denmark, but it was like pretty independent. Yeah.
Denmark kind of just like gave their stamp of approval for things.
I need to have one of them, him or one of those 2 twins on the podcast. 'Cause
Bring Yep on.
Bring Yep.
I don't know if Mikkeller
Yep was really
coming over
nice.
here.
Yeah, it was really nice. I've met him a handful of times. I met
but
them
there's
both,
just so
but
much drama, and
it gets
they're so
turned up.
Yeah, and there's
Who knows,
and there's
though?
there's so much stories between them. Like, I want to just ask them like what's actually happening. I don't even know if I would get a straight answer.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You won't.
that's part of the fun. So
Yeah.
I mean, it was definitely strange to work for that large of a company that was like so spread out, and like part of the ownership was like the current Met ownership, who's now moved on. It was like the Wilpons.
did you ever meet Keith Shore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's really nice. We talked about hockey.
And so we were all,
I don't know if that's like a weird stereotype of Minnesota, but like he's really into hockey. I think one of his kids plays hockey. And then I was like, from Minneapolis, and I was like, I grew up playing pond and like obsessed with it at the time. Or, like when I was younger, was always around. And then we just spent, I think it was like some event. He was just there, and we just talked about hockey for like an hour. It was great.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
like, so that brewery only really was around for like 2 years. So it was started in 2018 when I
years.
got there, and then COVID basically shut it down.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so,
We lost our jobs, and
and so COVID, we were in Mexico on vacation together. Ariel was
Where at?
actually in Yucatan, so we were in Tulum.
In Tulum.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because like Ariel was actually about to leave Mikkeller, New York, and go help open
Yeah.
Mikkeller, London.
yeah.
Damn, that'd been fun.
Which
Yeah.
was great. And then
Yep.
the day we got back, and the day Ariel's appointment was to get the visa was the first day that nobody showed up for work in New York City. So
Oh well, they like so when you like go get your visa, you go through like a U.S. passport office, and they do like biometrics and stuff at the U.S. passport office for like a array of nations that like goes. They all like go through one thing, even though it's like U.S. operated. So I like show up. We got in the car together. We like show up at Houston Street to go into the U.S. passport office, and there was security outside, just like handing out flyers, just being like, "You're shit out of luck, I guess."
yeah, March 18th,
Sorry.
2020.
Thank you. What? How do you remember?
I'll never
that?
forget it.
Wait, what is it?
March
March
18th,
18th.
2020.
2020.
Yeah.
We like just show up at the office. They hand us this thing. They say, "Sorry, all appointments are canceled today. No one showed up for work." Like the U.S. federal government at that point, they had just like closed all federal offices without notice. So no employees were there.
Yeah, so we
then I
walked
kind
from
of just
South Soho back to Greenpoint.
yeah, because my
Soho to Greenpoint?
Yeah, I mean, and then it was just like,
It's not
it was a
that
very
far. It's
eerie
not
time. There was like, all the streets are empty. It was like, well, what else are we doing?
Yeah.
So we were walking back.
And I was like very sad because at the time, I mean, like, I don't know, I have always wanted to like live abroad, and that was
Also,
like
like,
kind of the achievement of
You
that
probably
goal.
mentally prepared yourself that you're moving to another country.
Oh yeah, my lease was up.
Yeah.
And I didn't
still had your
have
stuff.
I still had all my stuff. I didn't know where to move. So I had like 2 weeks to move out of that apartment. The lease was up at the end of March. And I was like in my mind, I was like, I'm going to pack all the boxes that I need. I'm going to sell everything else. Nobody wants furniture from a random house at the beginning of COVID. Nobody wants to walk into your house and look at your like nice mid-century modern dresser that was probably worth a lot more than just throwing it out on the street. And
Well, yeah, I mean, this was March 2020 in New York City. Nobody knew what was going on. Everyone was terrified. There was sirens everywhere. It's
Yeah.
like, we got out of New York. Like, we moved down to Florida.
Yeah, but I like packed up what I could and like shoved it in a corner in like Scott's bedroom, and the tiny little apartment he shared with our like former coworker Katie, who is a close friend. Like they lived together. At that point, Katie no longer worked where we did, but like it was like that, and then my cat, and we just like moved into this apartment, even though it wasn't ours, and that was also, you know, we were in a little sardine can.
Yeah, and so we left out down to Florida. I ended up like going and helping out that first manager place for a while until I found the next gig where I started at Burial in August of 2020. So
and during all of that, I was still doing like digital work and like kind of like administrative operations for the build out of Mikkeller London.
Yeah.
And like helping out where I could with them. Which was nice that they like kept me on in a way to I don't know, it provided a lot of experience. Like that was, I think that's not something that people normally think about when they think about being a brewer.
Seeing a build out is really important.
Yeah.
It's completely different than working at a brewery, and I'm
Right.
sure you got a lot of experience that most people haven't
Well, I
seen.
didn't get to see any of it, right?
But you
Everything was,
were,
like, through
you
the
saw
computer.
some
but I was,
processing of it.
I was managing, you know, what I managed and helped out with, and that was, I mean, that's just like not how you think about being a brewer. So I learned a lot from that. I definitely grew, I feel like, in a way with communication skills and like asking for things, and I don't know. It was strange because I was like sitting by his parents' pool in Florida, and like he was gone all day back at his old job, and I was like taking phone calls from London with my coworker Mark, and I was just like, hey, and he's like, what's that bubbling I hear in the background? I was like, it's the pool. And he's like, oh. I was like, sorry. But it was nice out, so I sat outside.
yeah. So then
It was a strange time, but yeah. And then I went back to New York because visa offices opened up, tried to get my visa again, and then at that point, that was kind of a threshold of like, hey, I think we need to call it quits. So
for the London
McDonald.
location.
for London, yeah. So I like had
They
gone
still
back up
open,
there.
but
Yeah. But that was kind of like a breaking point where I was just like, both parties were like, I just don't think this is going to work out because I can't be there, and the visa office has rescheduled me, but not soon enough. So that ended basically. And then Scott got a job in Asheville, North Carolina at Ariel Brewing Company, and I packed up his apartment in New York.
Well, yeah, I went up from Florida, and then I went and got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we packed up all his belongings and my cat and moved to Asheville.
Yeah, and Burial's great, but it was definitely a tough time for you to find a job. August of 2020.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, my finding work over the past few years in general has been very difficult. So, especially there.
But while I was
too
there
small
at
of a community.
Burial, that's when Tara and Leanne reached out to Ariel to go and be like the brewer at TALEA.
Yeah, I was at the time. I was like working at White Labs.
Oh, okay.
Which they have
right.
they have a
Yeah.
facility in Asheville. You forgot about that. I
Yeah.
did too, because I didn't work there for very long. I was thinking about it on the way home today. But I worked there for like a short period of time. And this was when like vaccines and stuff were rolling out. And I had gotten like my second dose. And like that was the one that everybody was like, you're going to feel really sick. And I like worked a half day and then ended up going home, and they like reached out to me, and I was in like this weird like feverish dream state from like the second vaccine, and was just like, yeah, I'll talk to you, sure. And then we got on a call and like things clicked, and I think it was like fucking 4 weeks, not even, that I like packed up what I needed to move up there. And
Were you part of the opening team there?
yes, I think that
There was a different brewer before you went on, and he moved on.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was right after they opened. You kind of joined their team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They think they
Like,
they
was
have,
the tap room even open yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Barely, but yeah. Yeah. So they hadn't done, because they had contracted a lot of their beer to have, so they could have the tap room open. And then I got there and they'd maybe done 7 turns on their system. And then I was just like, cool, get out of the way. And I took over.
Yeah.
And then it was just me and yeah, that was really, I was exhausted for a very long time.
It was you and another guy, right? That's when.
I kind of hired on / created, I don't know if they talked about this. I don't remember them talking about this. A little 6-week, but then turned into multiple months long kind of internship thing, but it was paid, where we if anybody was interested from front of
That's
house and
cool.
learning how to brew, they could come back and I'd start them either in the cellar or on the brew deck, and created a little mini program for them. So we did that with 2 folks, and one of them still works there.
Cool.
Yeah. And I mentored him to be where he is,
Nice.
I guess. Not completely. There's other people that have helped him along the way, but I guess we started that journey together. He was just really excited and seemed very invigorated by literally keg washing, and I was like, "Are you okay?"
That's how I was.
And I was like, I love that you're excited about this, but this is literally my turn brain off, become smooth brain, don't think at all task, where I've done everything and used my brain to its capacity today, and now I just want to wash kegs and not talk to anybody.
Yeah, but when I first started brewing, I was so
Yeah.
amped to
Yes.
keg wash too.
Yeah. But yeah, so they ended up helping me, and Leanne also was very hands-on with a lot of the beer stuff too. And we had another person who kind of helped with warehouse management, although at the time they didn't have an external warehouse. They just, I taught people how to drive a forklift. We kind of did it. It was there was not a lot of folks in the back. It was very minimal staffing. And then finally I kind of hit a threshold where we ended up hiring somebody else who worked in tandem with me, to oversee all of operations. Yeah, it was you really learn under fire in that type of environment where we're brewing a lot of beer and it just being one and a couple green folks. It's stressful, but I don't know,
that's more
invigorating.
fun than being at a brewery that's not making beer, though.
Yeah, or you
Yeah.
were 1 of 10 and you're
Yeah.
sitting there on a computer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, you've had their beer. They're not just making beers that sit in a tank you don't do anything to. They make a lot of beer that's very, very hands-on and very, adjunct heavy with
Yeah.
the fruit and stuff like that. It takes a lot of effort and time, and so it wasn't I would just put 10 Pilsners in a tank and just let them rest. It was oh, I'm constantly covered in fruit.
Yeah.
I'm constantly covered in fruit puree. But yeah, that was, yeah. And I was up there for about a year, and then long distance became long distance, and we didn't want that anymore. And so I moved back to Asheville. And you were still doing your thing at Burial.
Yeah, I mean, I started at Burial as they have, I don't know if any of you have ever been down there, but they have the original pub system, and they needed someone to run that. And so I started that, and by the end of it, I was head brewer, helping them build out spaces, managing the team of people, managing all the sour production, foeder a bunch of lager production, all the imperial stout, and other things like that. So yeah, that was a great learning experience for me.
The
Burial,
THC program.
THC, NA
Oh, yeah.
program.
Yeah, the NA program, yeah. Everything.
We're about to get into that in Pennsylvania soon.
Yeah. The THC stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how it's all going to go. I know there's been some federal waffling recently as well, so.
Heavy on the waffling.
Yeah. I think it's going to become legal, and it's going to be the brewers are going to run it, I
Yeah.
think.
Which would be great.
I mean, it's really easy to
Yeah,
do.
it is. I mean,
You just got to do math.
We
and,
kind of started doing that when we were at Mikkeller.
Yeah, we were
because
doing CBD.
They did CBD sodas for this other brand for a while, and we started doing that.
At Mikkeller, we did that, yeah.
Yeah.
The tricky part is canning them.
Yep.
Canning water sucks.
Canning water, canning carbonated water sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and doing it safely, especially that.
And probably the
part.
skinny cans, right?
No.
We were doing it in
I
regular 12-ounce cans.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at Burial, we were doing them in 16-ounce cans.
think they switched
Yeah.
to 12 ounce though.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. That's what I see on their social
Yeah.
medias. But yeah, well, I'm sure we will do that. Actually, I'm not even sure. I know we'll do that at some point. Dabble into the like non-alcoholic products because you have
Yeah, I
to,
wanna
but
make it-
also
we
because we
definitely
want to.
Yeah.
I want to make a THC beer, but
Can you do Can you put alcohol and THC in the same?
no,
beverage?
no. But I'm gonna make just a THC
I was like-
beverage or something.
Nice,
I'm
yeah.
sitting over here like, what are we gonna do? I was like, gonna add
We're gonna make
ca-
5 Loco.
Yeah, I was like, just
Five Loco.
5 Loco, and we're adding caffeine. Yeah. It's gonna be a imperial coffee stout with THC.
Yeah.
Don't.
Let's
no.
go.
Please don't.
So, how did you end up in Philadelphia? Because at no point were you guys in Philadelphia before this.
No, we
Both
weren't.
you
We met in
guys-
New York. I mean, and then down in Philly. I mean, in Asheville. I started working with and we both became very close friends with Ken Correll's daughter, Rachel Morris,
Yeah.
who now works at Guinness in Chicago.
Did she work at Burial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
Rachel, I was basically Rachel's boss, but like we worked side by side and like we got very close and like we started coming up to Philly. It was sort of like because we met them and heard about it, but also because we were interested already. And we had been thinking about where would we want to open a brewery. We had to
also
find
like-
an answer.
Burial got invited to log jamming.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
exactly.
And I was at the time I was brewing for a small brewery in Asheville, and I had like known like Breeze Galindo from New York from when I lived in New York, and when they used to work at Other Half and stuff, and they were doing a panel, and so like I got invited with like Rachel and I got invited to be on a panel that they were doing
At Low Jamming?
at Log
Oh,
Jamming.
I
like,
watched
3
that.
years- yeah, like 3 years ago. So
That's funny.
on like diversity,
I think it was Log Jamming
equity,
3.
inclusion.
Yeah.
Log Jamming 3.
Perhaps. Yeah.
I don't know what Log Jamming we're at anymore. But yeah, so we ended up like coming up here for that. Like kept falling in love over and over again with Philadelphia.
Well, also,
I had
we
come
knew
here
that,
like
like-
several times when I lived in New York. So I lived in New York for like 10 years. So I had like come here, fallen in love with it then with like friends. It just like got thrown in the hat of like, hey, where do we want to open a brewery? Because we're not going to do it in North Carolina.
Or
Yeah.
Asheville,
Or but
particularly. Yeah.
very specifically, we're not doing it in Asheville. It's very saturated. And
And also, we kind of like both turns out that we're sort of city people.
yeah,
But and
I
like, you know,
like-
we
I
know
like
we
my
wanted
stuff.
to be in a place that had like we missed the diversity of the city and the food and bev scene, and we knew we wanted to be in a place that had like a lot of like really solid community, and we found that here. Like people like care for each other here and want to like be involved with each other. So
yeah. I think you both probably know this very well. It's Philadelphia is people are really honest and
a little too honest.
yeah, but it's like I'd rather have somebody like tell me like it is than like waffle around something and like or not be a genuine person. And I feel like Philadelphians are very authentic and authentically themselves and like authentically dickheads. And then like literally, I just like felt the vibe. And Rachel and Ken had kind of specifically Rachel had kind of like roped us into being Eagles fans like years before we moved here. They were like, you have to root for the Eagles. Otherwise, we can't be friends. Oh, no, they didn't say that. But yeah, so I don't know, vibe.
yeah, we
match.
liked it, and also we saw market opportunity as well, and like the price is good. For like renting and buying versus like a place like New York City, which is unattainable. And I don't know, people love beer here. And so we felt at home.
Yeah, I mean, people really like to go out and do stuff and drink. And I think that, and maybe I'll shoot myself in the foot by saying this in the future, but I believe, and based on watching and personal observation, I think that a lot of Philadelphia likes, Belgian style ales and not just your stereotypical like hazy beer and or a lager.
Yeah, we got monks here.
Yeah, exactly.
A legendary beer city that seems to be underserved.
I think that Philadelphians like a diversity of beer, and as someone who doesn't just want to make like a couple of types of beer, that wants to explore making lots of different beers and then also lots of different beverages, I think that really spoke to me as well, because I know that I could probably make saison and people are going to get it. Like I work at a bar and we put saisons on tap and people buy them all the time, and sometimes more than, you know, other styles, more than a hazy style in an evening. So
Yeah.
that really excited me when we had talked about, and like we're seriously considering Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, again, like core tenet of our brand is like community and neighborhood, and like the neighborhood bar vibe here is so great, and that's
Fantastic.
what we want to bring into our space when we finally find the place. We want to sort of be like your neighborhood bar that also makes its own beer, you know?
Yeah.
So the plan now is to find a spot.
Yeah, we're actively looking for property. We're seeing something soon, maybe this week or next week, that we're, you know, looking forward to maybe being the right thing. But, you know, we've seen a handful of places and we're going to keep hunting until we find something. I mean, likely going to have to build after that, so it'll be a little while. But yeah, we're looking for.
I mean, the ideal is obviously always a turnkey space, but that's like.
Do you want to build a brewery there also?
Yeah.
We want to have like a small 3,000 to 5,000 square foot place that has both the brewery and the bar in it.
Nice.
And we do, you know, it's like
Ideally have a food component.
yeah, but we just don't know.
Yeah.
We're not food. Well, we are food people, but we're not like making food at a restaurant people. Like,
Yeah.
So I mean, we'd love to find a partner for that, or however it may be. We just haven't quite done it.
We'd love to find a partner for that.
But yeah, I mean, nothing crazy with the food. But you know, it is a pretty important element. So we're still trying to figure that out.
Nice.
Do you have an idea of like what how you're going to structure the bar as far as like brand goes? It's something that's like your brand is super recognizable already, and I haven't seen it. The first time seeing it in person.
Yeah.
Are you going to stick to something similar to like this type of brand? I'm almost thinking like not Doom Bar, but like Doom is like very like
Specific.
Like a metal bar.
Yeah.
Like you know, I mean, the name gives it away.
Yeah. But have you like thought into like kind of?
I mean,
that
your
design?
merch is like very on brand with that.
Yeah.
I mean, our branding is going to be pretty consistent. I don't know if
Yes.
our bar probably won't look like Gothic Roman. You know, as cool as that would be.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
I think that's like budget constraints there. But like, I don't know. Like, go ahead. I don't know if you were trying to say something. I don't want to cut you off, but go ahead.
oh, I have so much to say about design aesthetics. I could talk about this for hours. I've got like several Pinterest boards, which is not just good for like planning your wedding, right? It's great for. I mean, this is how we like built our brand in general. Was like
Yeah.
we would go online and I would find graphic design and art and sculpture and whatever that inspired me, and I would throw it into a document or a Pinterest board and send it to a graphic designer and be like, great, this is what I'm thinking, and like this is what I'm thinking for font, and this is what I'm thinking for like general design aesthetic. And when I started doing that, I got to a certain point where I was like, I think that's enough. I don't want to overwhelm our graphic designer, Andrew Tamlin. And I started kind of focusing on, I was like, okay, well, if we take these elements of like what I liked design aesthetic wise for visual marketing, then how does that like translate into what we do when we actually have a physical space? So it will translate. It just won't be like, I mean, we chose a black can because I just think it looks cool.
It does.
And the gold, and I like gold and black together. Say what you will about it, I don't really care. Same thing with the gold can lids, but like the design aesthetic of the font, and then doing, I mean, this is like a Roman bust, right? So that will translate its way into the bar, but it'll just look cute. I don't know how to describe it. It'll look nice. And
Yeah,
there
I
will
mean-
be art. There will be plants. There will be.
Both of you guys seem like people that just have
Yeah.
good design minds.
Yeah.
We
It's
care a lot about. I mean,
care a lot about
our number
design
one
aesthetic.
product. Like, I mean, we're going to be a brewery, but our product is the experience. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily like the beer. I mean,
Yeah.
beer is a huge
No,
element
like,
of that.
I think that
experience,
being
but-
in a space that's like comfortable to be in, that like, I don't know, like you walk into a space that makes you feel good. Like you walk into, I don't know, like a dive bar, and like the smell and the ambiance and like the weird flickering lights and like the crazy old man at the bar who's a regular that like is part of
all
the
a part of
furniture.
it. Yeah,
It makes you
it's the
feel a type of
experience,
way
yeah.
when you walk into that space.
Yeah.
It'll be the same. It's the same with every space, but like that'll be the same at Sgraffito. We'll have a space where you walk in and like you're just like it is so them, and then also at the same time like I want to be here. It's like comfortable and cozy, and like you know that you're walking in and you're seeing like, you know, a local artist or local art on the wall, or you can shop our merch, which is all like secondhand and vintage, and then you also might be able to find other vintage retailers there, and all of the furniture is going to be, you know, vintage and secondhand. I don't want anything brand new because stuff already exists, and like you'll see that when you walk in, and stuff might be mismatched, but it'll be like intentional and
cozy.
I like cozy.
Dead flowers on the tables, and you know, I think it's like we can't tell you exactly what it's going to look like because
you could not spend money on dead flowers.
It's hard to say exactly what it's going to look like because I feel like we both feel as though it's very space dependent. It's like we're going to get the
100%.
drawings, we're going to look at it, it's like, all right, this is what we're going to do. But yeah, I mean, I think like harkening back to Sgraffito and the Roman like sculptural aspect, that we're about to produce a second can that's going to be similar, not the same, but similar.
That is going to be
theme,
different.
But like, we want to like lean into whatever the building's giving us naturally. So if we have exposed brick in there, like we absolutely want to use that. Or
we don't want to cover up things that are part of like the natural design of the building, especially because we don't necessarily want to be in like a new build. We want to be in something that already has existed, and which, you know, adds a layer to finding a space, but
Also works with the brand.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
does. Yeah, exactly. And like, I don't know, like I don't need to be in some like weird gaudy new build that smells like polyurethane and
It's their spaces are uninviting.
yeah, they are
it's not the
exactly
experience we
like
wanna
no
do.
matter what, the space that you walk into for Sgraffito will be a very inviting space.
I mean, it's no secret that it's a tough time for craft beer. So as much as we can make the customer feel like the experience,
But it's starting to become a good time for real estate. Because I'm
Yeah.
looking right now,
Well, it's
and
also a
all the
good
prices are
time.
dropping, and it's starting to be a good.
It's a good time to start something.
Yeah.
It's if you're already into it, I think it's really challenging.
I've been looking for 8 months,
Yeah.
and in the last
No
2
offense.
months, I've started to see everything is starting to turn. Prices are
Yeah.
starting to drop. There's more places
Yeah.
available. It's.
I mean, if you looked at like any of the like secondhand systems equipment, like all
yeah,
of that
yeah,
stuff.
brewery equipment
Oh
is
my
basically free.
god, it's basically free.
Yeah,
right now.
I'm
So
sorry.
great.
I talked to Scott for like 2 years and was like, I'm gonna buy specific mechanical equipment,
Yeah.
and then I got to a point. I'm like, I'm sorry, Scott. Like I know I've been talking to you like every week, but like I can't buy a new system.
Yeah, when I
makes
talked to him,
sense.
I led. It was like, hey man, I'm probably going to buy used, but I'm looking for some quotes.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, we're building out our business plan spreadsheet, and we had like a high end and like a low end
estimates.
estimates
Yeah.
for like cost wise, right? And like Scott was reaching out to people while I was doing some of the design stuff and some of the like, I don't know, the frill. I do all like the words and the cute stuff, and you do like the numbers because I can't do math and save my life. Like I just can't. So he was reaching out to those places, and yeah, Scott was just like, okay, sure. But then, you know, sent us down along the path to find Brightpath, which was great too. But yeah, the secondhand market is fabulous right now.
Yeah.
Good time to buy used.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going away. Like, I don't think
No.
that there's going to be 10,000 breweries in the country for another 25 years.
Yeah.
Like, but there's 10,000 brewing systems.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know,
Yeah, there's
so-
no one needs to be making new stainless steel. Sorry, manufacturers. but we
Yeah.
got it under control for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Cool. So can you give? I mean, I imagine you're not going to announce the next beer, but like, where do you see kind of like your beer styles going? I mean, you mentioned Belgian beer, saisons, and stuff, but like, do you think you're going to dive into that immediately?
No, we're gonna wait until we have a space to actually.
the next beer is going to be a pale ale called Viridian.
Okay.
It's going to be a hazy pale ale with
Simcoe,
Kashmir or Waka. But
What
was like,
that
you're
gonna
gonna
taste
forget
like? That's
gasoline,
I like
and
all
I'm
this-
excited.
yeah, I don't know.
hops, but
I mean, probably a bunch of like, you know, some berry and citrus and like spice from the Kashmir with like pine and
Simcoe's gotten crazy expensive, by the way.
yeah.
We
Yeah, we were
bought-
lucky.
bought it.
We were able to hop buy some off of Burial.
Nice.
Well, that was also those were lots.
They weren't cheap, though.
No, they weren't cheap. But
I selected them, which
yeah,
was nice.
that's what was so great. Is we went down to Asheville in October. We ended up pouring at Burial's like annual festival called Burn Pile. And when we were down there, I was like, Scott, since we drove, we should just like see if we can buy the hops now. And then he's like, yeah, and if we buy them, they're actually going to be lots that I selected. And I was like, great, let's buy them because you know what they're like. This would be perfect. So we ended up doing that. And then, they're sitting in our freezer. We've like a lot of pounds of hops sitting in our freezer.
The
at
hop
home,
industry
taking up
is
most of our
crazy
freezer.
right now because everyone started making lagers and the craft beer industry is hurting. So I think they ripped up like 30% of hop fields last year just to like manage it. But there's so many hops available. I was trying to buy Azaka today, and you can't even buy it. So I had to like switch it to another. I think I switched from Azaka to El Dorado.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
Old school, love it.
yeah, it's gonna be like Brew One, Citra, and El Dorado.
Nice.
Instead of Azaka, but yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, what are they just? Did they just give up on Azaka?
Well, Firestone Walker buys a lot of Azaka, so
Maybe they just bought all. There was they only had whole leaf available. Like, I'm not gonna dry hop with whole leaf.
That's strange because I actually don't know that many brewers that use it. I just know that, and like I forget whatever their hazy like pale is at Firestone, they use that. Yeah. But yeah, the Viridian, it's gonna be we're gonna use Rabbit Hill Pilsner malt from New Jersey. 20% oats, some flaked rye.
Rye. Do you like rye?
We like rye in small amounts.
I used to work
rye.
at Flying Dog, and they put rye in everything, and I'm just rye'd out. Like, I can't.
I think this is going to be like 5%.
Okay.
Like a kiss of flaked rye.
A moratorium in my homebrew club that you can't brew with rye if you were. So they like would collab like once a year with one of the local New York City breweries. And the first time that they did that, they brewed a beer with KCBC called Murder on Troutman Street. I want to say. I'm probably wrong about the name. They still brew it every year. But it was brewed with rye, and they used so much rye that they had like a stuck mash for like 14 hours or something crazy.
Rye protein.
And after that, because it was like such a long runoff, they were like, hey, so we're not doing this anymore, guys. Like we're like, there's just, yes. But I was like, we're going to put a sprinkle of it in. I don't know. I'm very sick of brewing beer because I've brewed so many beers over the years that are just like the same couple of ingredients.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what happened to brewing IPAs and like pale ales with like rye?
It's starting to come back.
happened to
The
that?
West Coast, more bitter stuff is starting to come back.
Yeah. I'm like,
The West Coast, like, it's so much more malt forward that, how you experiment with that is like.
Yeah, and Viridian's not going to be like a game-changing beer or anything, but
No.
we wanted to but it's going to be 4.8%, and that's like sort of our initial vibe and general philosophy is going to be like low ABV, easy drinking stuff. Like this is 5, that'll be 4.8. Those are going to be 2 of our core beers, but we're going to plan to like do all sorts of styles, but mainly stick to session stuff. We will do obviously IPA of all types, but also and like quarterly or whatever, like Imperial Stout, because I brewed so many Imperial
I
Stouts.
told him that
Imperial.
he has to do all of that.
I'm happy to do it.
Won't do it.
I strangely enjoy it.
Couldn't be me.
Do you plan on doing barrel aged stuff?
I don't know. If we do our barrel aged stuff, maybe sour stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if
think
we'll
I
do
wanna
any barrel aged
barrel-aged
Imperial
stout.
things.
No.
Yeah. I don't really love it. I think we'll start with just doing the non-barrel aged stuff, and then likely have
This is
a moment where we put some in barrels.
If you couldn't tell, a point of contention. I like having beers that you can share and have a few of instead of like 4 ounces of an Imperial Stout, and then I like can't drive home.
Of course, and that's like convivium. It's a whole thing. It's like come,
Right.
sit down, chat,
Share.
have many.
Yeah, like
Not one
be
or
in
two,
community, have a
yeah.
good time. I think with Imperial Stouts, you can start by having a good time, and you don't end having a good time.
But it's
You
nice to
have
use
a bad
those kind of
time.
beers for like special occasion releases
Yeah, like
and things like that.
I told
so.
Scott we can have one, and it'll be released probably during the holidays.
I mean,
Yeah,
barrel aged
okay.
beers have really like fallen off the last couple of years.
Yeah.
All breweries used to make like some like giant barrel aged stout that like came out in bombers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that stopped. But everything is cyclical in the brewing industry. So
Yeah.
at some point, next couple of years, everyone will start doing it.
You think
Yeah.
the IBUers are going to come back and get the 110?
I don't think because like the IBUs are crazy. They're like,
Yeah.
how high can we go? I'm like,
I know.
what do you mean how high can you go? Just add more hops.
Remember
Yeah.
going
It's
to
not like
like,
it's a rocket science. Just make it
And
more
then
hoppy.
at a certain
Maybe we're
point,
going to the
you'll just have
grocery
a beer
store.
that tastes like, I don't know, Fernet, and then everybody will be unhappy and
Yeah.
miserable.
I remember going to the grocery store in college and buying bombers of Hop Stupid, and they all said like 100 IBUs in the bottle, and it's like, now we've gone like in the totally opposite direction.
Yeah,
We're like,
it's
how,
totally.
how
Guaranteed
cold
ass.
and
Yeah.
how late can we put these hops in?
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
I mean, that's also something that when I'm talking about like making like IPAs or pale ales, I want them to be like well-rounded, and to me that means adding hops in the boil.
some generous. Yeah, I mean, Viridian will have a 35.
Yeah.
It's not going to be anything
Yeah,
high,
I
but
think
it's
that-
just a little on the higher side for maybe a hazy pale ale. That might,
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that balance is important in beer, and the ones that I enjoy the most have a balance of where things are in the brewing process, and they're not just like late edition hops and then like ass loading the dry hop, and then it kind of just like tastes like green stuff.
Dude, I was listening
Which
to.
like there's a place for that, right? And obviously it's very popular, but other people are doing it.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I also have to do it.
I was listening to the Craft Beer and Brewing podcast a couple months ago, and they had somebody on. I forget who it was. They were like, what is the defining characteristics of your beer? And they're like, well, we dry out our IPAs a lot. We finish at like 4 Play-Doh, and we have like it's pretty bitter. We have like 25 IBUs. I'm like half that on like the gravity, and I'm like double that on the
Yeah,
IBUs.
yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like, you're pushing it with that?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that like craft beer's gotten to a point where like everybody is kind of like warped as far as like what normal is.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Oh, 100%. But I also don't think that there needs to be a normal. I think that people can kind of create their own path and
Yeah.
go with it. And that's what makes, I don't know, like, just because I don't want to
Well,
make
craft beer
something-
became normal. It was
Oh,
like everyone
yeah.
made the
Yeah.
hazy
Yes,
IPA,
yeah.
where it's like
Right.
one singular style that everybody was just doing.
Right.
Where craft beer used to be like, you know, the breweries around here. There was a Belgian brewery, there was a lager brewery, there was an IPA brewery.
Right.
And it was everybody's making different things, and craft beer used to be different. And now
Yeah.
it's like you go into a beer, even just beer stores, and it's just like 9 IPAs, and then like, well, now it's like probably half lagers and half IPAs, but still, it's like the lagers are not even that much different.
Yeah.
I know.
I know. Yeah. But I don't know. I think there's room for everybody. That's one thing that I believe. Like, I think that there's, I don't know. I don't like the idea of like, oh, well, like, we're doing the same business model. So like Space Cadet and Sgraffito are, you know, they're
Enemies.
competitors. It's
Yeah.
like, we're not though, at all. Like, I think that there's, you know, enough people in the greater Philadelphia area for as many breweries as it has and more. That's something that I actually picked up when I worked at TALEA, was like they talked about population density a lot when they were talking about like the way that they built out their business model, and the way that they were presenting their deck when they went to those meetings. And like I took that knowledge that I learned from them, and I'm like, yeah, there's room for everybody so long as you have the population to come to your place and drink it.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. It's
And
a
that
very
means that you can have a diversity of like different people making beers. Like, just because you make a beer that has, I don't know, I'm just gonna say like the most stereotypical hops. Like, just because you make an IPA that's got like Simcoe Citra Mosaic in it doesn't mean that I can't make one that also has those hops in it. And like, maybe they taste very similar or the same, but like, whatever. What if we're on one side of town and you're on the other? Like, those demographics of people are not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's somebody's neighborhood spot, and like they come to Space Cadet or they come to Sgraffito, and
Also,
like there's room
steak
for everything.
restaurants, everybody makes it the same
Yeah,
steak.
right.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's like, who has a better steak? It's like, it's steak.
I just love the way that it's going, like in beer, where we're sort of getting away from this like regional brewery grocery store distribution. Like that's where everyone was striving for in like 2015, 2016. And it's sort of going back to this more like old world, like this is the brewery in this neighborhood that makes, you know, 1,000 to 1,500 barrels a year, and everyone around here goes to it, and it's just sort of like gym of this part of town. You know, it doesn't have to be this like, oh, this is the Southeast's most prolific hazy brewery, and they want to be in 4 or 5 states. And it can be like, you know, pre-prohibition era where there's like breweries all over the place, and it's like that's the neighborhood bar.
Yeah.
Or how it is in like England and
it's like
Germany.
it's a public house.
Yeah.
It's, you know, people just go around the corner to their local pub, and like a lot. Very good point. Like Germany and the UK, they all have those things where you just go around the corner and there's your local place to go, and they brew the beer there, and like it's only distributed within the little area, the little township, and then you have to try if you're you know, a beer traveler, as it were, or like do beer tourism in any way, like you've heard of those places, then you just have to go there, which is beautiful, which we did. And like that to me is
You went to Germany?
Oh, I've been to Germany like 1,000 times.
that
but
many?
I wish. But that's
Like-
how it was. Like every time, I mean, like, yes, I was in major cities, but I've also been to like the really tiny little villages that they've got like their weird local brewery that you've never heard of.
Yeah.
And the Pilsners and the lagers and the house, like whatever. They're delicious. They're so good. And you're like, wait a minute, what? And it's just like a local brewery. They make a ton of beer. Germans drink a lot of beer. Shout out Kristallweizen for a style that I want to make that Scott doesn't want me to make.
Is that what you guys are make? Crystal Weiss?
Oh, I'm definitely going to make a Kristallweizen.
at some
I'm
point, yeah,
absolutely going to make one of those. That's for those who don't know, a clarified wheat beer, clarified like Hefeweizen that has gone through probably a centrifuge 1,000 times to make it clear, but it still has like delicious body and is really crisp. But no, like those experiences of being able to like go to those small places gave us a lot of inspiration this summer. We took a trip in July to Ireland, and part of that was just because we wanted to take a vacation. We try to leave the country once a year for like our mental health and to experience the world. And we went there and we wanted to experience pub culture for like what it was instead of like daydreaming about it. And we did, and it was wonderful. And obviously most of those places serve 3 beers, which are choose your variation of stout. It's Guinness, Murphy's, or Beamish. And like maybe a light beer of some kind or something like that.
Anything Carlsberg course.
Yeah.
That's what they have.
Yes. It's like those 6 and then like whiskey and gin. And that experience was really lovely, but you like, everybody's got their own way of pouring it and everybody enjoys their certain spot. And like, if you talk to locals, they're like, don't go there, go here. But then on that same trip, we also got to go to Belgium, and we did spend like a couple days on the border of Belgium and Germany in Germany. And they just, you know, Belgium, obviously everybody talks like, you know, day and night about Belgian beer and exploring Trappist breweries. But being able to take that trip up to, where do we go?
In Germany?
No.
Oh, West Lateran?
Yeah, West Lateran.
You went there?
Yeah.
How was that?
Sick.
A religious experience.
So, I mean, we... like,
Unintended. It was religious.
they have the monastery, and then like across the street, there's like a cafe.
Yeah.
And so like we like went towards the monastery and like walked around it, but to get into like the brewing area, you have to basically be like,
You have to
tell
make an
them
appointment.
you have to tell them that you're interested in a monastic way of life.
No, you
Yeah,
don't.
that's what they said. It's like, and you basically like you're touring a place to like see if you want to become a monk.
Wink up.
But other than the brewery, like Shimane, you can't go see this stuff. Like Vegetarian is still very closed off
I think
and very
if you
small.
send them a very nice email that they would it well enough in advance, they'd be like, "Sure, let us know what date you're coming," and then they bring you back. Especially if
The
you're
cafe was
already
still a great
brewer.
experience.
I mean, that's how their beer is served. You
Yeah.
go to a beer cafe. That's how it is done there. You don't just like. It's not meant to be this like taproom experience. It's meant to be like a cutesy little cafe. That was wonderful. It was a beautiful summer day. The sun was out. It wasn't
was
too hot.
perfect.
The beer was perfect.
Yeah.
The cheese they made on the facility site was perfect and delicious. I think we had roulette as well.
Yeah.
It was so good. But that, I think, at that point in time, I had, I felt like very disconnected from the beer industry in a lot of ways because it had been years since I had like actively worked in it, with the exception of like going to log jamming with Sgraffito. And I like was out of love with beer and with the community, and like that trip in general, like going to Ireland, going to the pubs, going to Cantillon, going to West Flatiron.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
I just
If
like,
that
I was
didn't
like,
get you,
oh,
I don't know.
I guess I'm falling in love again. Like, I think that, I don't know, I literally like wept when we were at West Flatiron because it was also one of the last days of our trip, and I was like, I don't want to go back to the United States of America. I want to stay here. But we had this like beautiful time in this beautiful afternoon with the best beers I've literally ever had in my life. And I mentioned this earlier. I don't like to drink a lot of high alcohol beers. I want to brew low alcohol beers. But I thought that was it the quad?
Yeah, 12.
Yeah, 12 was, and I'll say this to this day, and maybe it was the environment, but that was the best beer I've ever had.
That's
in my
the highest
life.
rated beer on Untapped, I think, or like it's always considered
Yeah.
like the best beer
It's
in the world.
amazing. I mean, they're all great.
I
We
didn't-
brought home both 12 and the
Pale.
green one.
Pale.
The
blonde,
single.
the blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the 12 is the best beer I've ever had in my life. It's complex and diverse, and there's just so much going on with it. And I'll never forget sitting there and drinking it and like having those tasting notes like run through my mind, and then thinking about like where I was in life and like what we're about to do, and how important it is to have those like experiences that change your perspective on the world, because I felt so far away from where we are now, and I felt so far away from community. And then I'm just like sitting there, and there's all these like old Belgian folks sitting around like they do every afternoon having these beers casually, and I'm just sitting there like, you guys could have drink this all the time, and you're just like don't think it's an amazing experience. Like, what the hell? Like, they probably do, but
Yeah. I mean,
It was beautiful.
It's in the middle of nowhere. They all went out there for a reason.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's invigorating to feed your soul that way. And I think that everybody should find something that does that for them, flavor wise, whether it's beer, whether it's something NA, whether it's wine, whether it's food. But I think it's like, I mean, those little places that you have to go to are so necessary, I think, for the industry, because it makes it exciting. And that's why I'm not saying that like we need like a West Flatiron of Philadelphia or anything like that. But if you guys wanted to expand, I would take up the rights of a monk if I can bring my cats. But I think that mentality of just like, yeah, we're just like here. You can come here, but this is where it's at. Like, we're not going to oversell ourselves. We're not going to cave to like the absolute infection of capitalism and like exploit our employees and produce too much and like do too much. Like, you can just, we're your neighborhood farm brewery that's also monk based,
Yeah, that's cool.
that you have to pray to be a part of. But I think those types of places are important and should exist and need to continue. And we can do that in our own way, not monastically, but I mean, like, you know, go around the corner and find your neighborhood pub brewery.
So I'm gonna give you guys a recommendation. You have to go down to Mexico, Querétaro. There's Hercules. Hercules
yeah,
is
I've heard
the
of them.
No, we
Yeah.
haven't
is the biggest
been.
craft brewery in Mexico.
Yeah.
It's owned by like some super rich family in Mexico, but I guess like they just love beer, so they created this thing. It's the old brewmaster from Cigar City. It's now the head of
right.
production there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they set it up. It looks like it's an old monastery just in the middle of like this like industrial town.
It's like just outside of Mexico City, right?
No, Querétaro's like 3.5 hours northwest, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a bar in Mexico City.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And then what's it called? Then it has like a high-end hotel that's connected to
Oh,
it.
yeah.
With like a pool and like this whole spa thing set up based inside this thing, and then it has like a 3,000 person or 2,000 person like German beer hall that's connected to it. It's the
Crazy.
coolest brewery
It's
I've
like
ever been to in my entire
Disneyland.
life.
Talk about
Yeah.
experience. I mean, like, talking about experience, you being heightened emotionally, that's an experience. Like,
I would be
this is one
overstimulated.
thing, and you could enjoy it in your house, but being.
Yeah, but let's build one of
Yeah.
these things here.
Yeah,
Philly.
Yeah.
a big resort.
I mean, I've
If we
talked
can all
to,
come together.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. How much money do you guys have? I got like $100 in my wallet.
Well, that's what Treehouse did, right? And now
Yeah.
they're billionaires or whatever.
Yeah, and they had to like restructure all the roads around there, like out of the.
Well, they basically they took over. Didn't they take over like the water infrastructure of the town?
They've done a lot
they've
of cool
also
stuff.
They built a golf
bought,
course.
Yeah,
They
they
got a
bought.
golf course
I didn't
money.
realize they have a golf course now. But at the point that I'm thinking of, they had taken over the water infrastructure of the town, and like we're like, yeah, I guess we'll take care of it. I could be wrong. I could be thinking of somewhere else. But they also bought a bunch of land and turned it into hiking trails. to like
gosh.
protect the land. And I was like, hell yeah, go off.
Yeah, I mean, you guys at Sierra Nevada did that, and
In Asheville.
in Brevard, and
They also got in trouble because they were like buying houses with the company's money, but
Well, you could be doing worse things. Yep, don't do that. Yeah, like that. I mean, that's kind of stuff is cool when you think about like, oh, well, you
That
can
is
just
very
like
cool.
protect all this
Yeah.
land and do all this cool stuff and make it like this whole other experience you didn't think you can have.
I think Dogfish Head had some like brewery hotel things going on.
That makes
Yes.
sense.
And it was
Yeah.
cool. And
I know
apparently
people who
Brewdog
wanted
did
to do
too.
that in a small
Brewdog
way.
sucks, but I think they try to do everything.
They
Brewdog
did.
does is like super
In like
cheesy.
Yeah, yeah,
St.
totally.
Louis.
Columbus, Ohio, I think.
I know people who wanted to do that in like a bed and breakfast type of way,
Yeah.
which I still think is a fantastic idea.
That's what Monica, my wife, wants to do. She wants to have a bed and breakfast.
It's such a
somehow.
good idea.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's cute. I mean, because you won. I mean,
You can run it as like Airbnbs and
right?
that's,
Like you can make income off of that, but then
Yeah.
you're also like, well, if people are coming there to also like be beer nerds and experience that, then you're also hosting these people that like care deeply about the
Or
craft.
collaborators or anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Also, yeah, hosting collaborators is like a big I think a lot. I know of people who've done that before.
Like Suarez had a house next to, well, they still do on top. So we were pretty close to them. In fact, when Ariel was going to go move to England, I was going to go work at Suarez Brewing Company. But the COVID stopped that too, because the guy that was going to go off and like start another brewery out in Seattle, that ended up not happening. So he stayed. That's why I ended up at Burial.
Yeah.
But we were pretty close to them, and they have like a home connected to their brewery where they host a bunch of people all the time too. They don't like rent it out for money.
No.
But it's like more like communal thing.
Yeah, they're just like, hey, if you guys need a place to stay in the Hudson Valley, come hang out.
It's cool.
That'd be cool. In Philly, it's possible because we have all these row homes with stuff on top, but like and business in the bottom. But we don't necessarily aren't looking for a building like that. But
No.
if you know what, when we have a place, we can set up a cot,
We already own the cots.
2 cots.
Sleep on
So
the
much
green bag.
use.
Yeah, it's an
camping
experience.
equipment at our
Airbnb
house.
experience.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
can even scrub the tanks.
Yeah. If you're so inclined, we'll leave a bucket of acid out
Yeah.
for you to scrub the tanks and the proper PPE,
Yeah.
just to make sure we're all safe and squared away there.
Nice. All right. So where can we look out for you? Like, can we pump all your socials, your website, where to buy your beer?
Yes, I mean we have a website and we're on Instagram. No, anything else? Any other socials yet? I don't think so.
You have your
Over
website,
my-
right?
yeah,
Sgraffito
so-
Beer.
yeah.
Beer.com and at Sgraffito Beer
On Instagram. I have loosely started a please don't hate me world, a Substack where I've kind of just like put my thoughts out into the world about
I read that,
how
and I
we're
think
doing-
blogs should come back. Dave from Beer Mill
Yeah.
is blogging now.
Nice.
I want
I just
Evan
think
to
it's
start blogging.
important.
It'd be fun.
I mean-
but it's just
Yeah.
we talk shit on here like once a week. Like I feel even safer standing behind a keyboard talking.
yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
not trying
so-
to necessarily talk shit, but I think that like when
me, but
yeah, but like when you're doing this in a way where there's no physical location yet,
Yeah.
and then you also are like trying to create this thing around like not just the beer, but like all of our merch is. I
Yep.
said this earlier, secondhand and thrifted vintage, and we screen print on it with our graphic designer. Like talking about those things is really important because if you don't have a physical space, and like we have our office that we like open up for office hours from time to time, which we haven't done this year yet, but we will. People like, I don't know, want something
it's
somewhat
hard to communicate
tangible.
that. Like just
yeah,
because
They want
we are not
tangibility.
the common customers. Like the common
Yeah.
customer is just
Yeah.
someone that's like looking to enjoy beer on the weekend.
Yeah.
And like we can look into this, but it's hard for them to kind of like
yeah. They
sift
want
through
something
all of your
tangible
art to figure out what's
and-
happening.
I am not the biggest fan of putting my face on the internet. I like being behind the camera. So for me, like being able to write a blog and like attach photography to it of stuff that I've taken of some of the design work that we've done outside of like the label stuff, and then also of like merch and stuff like that, and like attach it to something gives people something.
your
tangible
ideas
to
out
look-
there.
Yeah, and like also allows people into. I think there's a lot of publications and statistics out there that have talked about how beer people don't just want to see a photo of a beer anymore, and how they want to like see the person behind it or like get to know what's going on with the brand. I think it's a really easy way, for me at least, to talk about how we are helping like our way forward in creating a brewery that will physically have a space someday, but as of the moment, like, you know, this is where my mind is at, and this is how we're creating that and making it happen. Because I also think there's a lot of secrecy, and like there's like, you know, it seems like there's like this like magic happening, and then all of a sudden a brewery pops up. It's like, that's not how it works. And I think that, well, there's definitely
That's how I thought it worked, and I was sad
I
to
know.
Wait, that's not how it works.
Exactly.
Well,
I think I also
spells
once
every
upon a
day.
time thought that was how it was worked, is you like wave a magic wand and then all of a sudden like a brewery appears.
But anyway, where you can get us is
Sgraffito Beer, at Sgraffito Beer on Instagram, sgraffitobeer.com.
and Beer Mill in Westchester, and
Shout out Dave.
Shout out Dave. Shout out Greg at Bryn Mawr Beverage in Bryn Mawr.
Love
They
them.
were both been huge like early supporters of ours. Our first
Bryn Mawr Beer is
customers.
awesome. Everyone should check
They're
them
the
out.
sweetest
Yeah,
people.
they're great.
Sweetest
I
people.
believe we're also on draft at Bryn Mawr as well as in cans there.
Yep, you can get crawlers taken away.
You can get us on draft at Beer Hall in Westchester as well.
Another great
Cool.
place. Shout out James.
So yeah, he's awesome.
Friend of the
So
pod.
Stone's Beverage here will carry cans of ours from time to
Love
time. I believe
Stones.
they have them now. Franklin Beverage is probably out by
They're
now.
out, yeah, but they did have it.
And Fairmount as well.
Franklin Beverage is awesome also. You guys picked all the cool spots.
Well, we got lucky that Bryn Mawr and Beer Mill via Logjammin' when we went there
Yep.
reached out to us. So we were very lucky there. We've been on draft to Fountain Porter. We're not there now.
We've, depending on who's listening, if you've got the, you know, if you've got the cash, we have beer at Vetri Cucina
Fiorella.
and Fiorella, and PA Tremala just picked up a case.
Yep.
Where else? Servo, although they
no
might
way.
be
They're
out.
definitely out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then also we have our
like I'm
space
forgetting
up in Port Richmond, and the Loom, which is
Who else is that? Are you in the same building as like all the other brewers that pop up there?
Yes.
they are.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
No, Sacred Vice aren't they in the next building over?
Sacred Vice is in the south building.
But Humble Parlor.
Humble
Parlor.
Parlor is in the basement of the building we're in. Yeah.
Their brewery is in there.
yeah. But they used to be in the south building.
Yeah.
With.
I'm like 3
Sacred
blocks away
Vice.
from you guys.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we have a spot there that we before in December and earlier we were doing like a couple times a month like open house sort of thing where we have draft in cans there, and you know that's where our license is. We have like a little fermenter there, and we have like records and like tapes and
yeah,
the sound system
very analog.
and it's because so it's like a come and all of our merch is there, come hang and like have a beer or two, and it's never been huge, but
Yeah.
we've always had a few people through there, so we're gonna now that like
The best ability is availability.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
as soon as this like frigid
Very true.
cold is over, we're gonna start that up again. And so hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have announced. We always announce that on our Instagram mainly. It'll also be on our website.
We
so
do,
follow
yeah.
us
I added
there.
a calendar portion to our website, and then I like started doing a newsletter. We'll see how often that happens. Unfortunately, a lot of that stuff through like Square is pay to play, and you know there's only like.
Squarespace.
I know that you have to like spend money to make money, but you don't have to spend all your money, you know.
Well, I mean,
Which is why I started the Substack. But yeah, so you can find us through the website, the calendar, or on Instagram with that. Hopefully we'll have some dates coming up soon. I think that it's just been a rough start to the year for the world, and it's freaking cold outside.
cold, and we've been busy.
And we've been busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been working a lot. So you got to work to own a brewery.
Yeah, I mean we have other jobs. We have we both
We have
work in
jobs.
bars, and also are doing this. So
Yeah.
I feel good though. I was telling Evan that it feels like a lot of breweries have just given up. Like I'm going out, I'm doing tastings like all the time. I'm selling beer to people.
yeah,
And they're like, no one else is coming in here. No one else is doing this. Like no one else is like trying to like, even like their social media. Like they're not even posting stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
did everyone just give up?
Yeah.
I feel like very promising.
You're very
like,
active on yours. I'm not active on ours. I'm like, I don't know. I have a weird relationship with
You
social
can see
media.
the social media like when Monica's here versus when she's not. Because when she's not here, like I post like the worst content ever, but it's a lot. And when she's here, it's like nice and curated what should actually be.
Oh, when he posts stuff, he goes, "Did you see? I think I did a good job." I'm like, "You did do a good job. This is really good." You never.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, the getting out on the road and doing cold calls in bars it can be very hard. It's like
so
I go in there, no one's
difficult.
ever heard of me, and like I try to sell them on something.
It's
and, like,
door-to-door
It's
sales.
tough,
They should
man.
just
It's
get
like 1 in
turned
10
down
or
nonstop.
is a good thing. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
And that was, I mean, we've like assigned ourselves responsibilities in like the 50-50 partnership of like titles that, you know, obviously will change over time. But I told Scott that he has to be the salesperson because I have like an extraordinary amount of social anxiety.
Yeah.
And I get so anxious going in to talk to somebody.
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
just like, you can do all of that.
Well,
I'm not going
and
to.
also, it's like we're not making a ton of beer right now. We've
No,
only made
yeah.
a total of 20 barrels, and we got licensed since like August of last year. Yeah. Well, we probably can't package 10 of each of these.
Yeah.
And so we don't have a lot of beer to sell. So luckily, we do sell through it. But like, I'm trying not to be in too many accounts because I don't want to go like overpromise and like not be able to like, oh, we ran out.
It's hard, and you guys are already
can't
selling
have
beers
more.
at accounts, so
Yeah.
it's like if it's moving there, then like it's better to move in less places than it is
Yeah.
to be moving faster in less places than moving slower in more places.
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky to have accounts that support us. So, also 320 Beer Store.
Oh, 320.
And
Shout out to
media.
320, the sweetest people. Yeah.
has
Shout out
our
Drew.
beer. Yeah, Drew's
He's so
awesome.
nice. He's been so supportive.
But yeah, I know. Yeah, so we have some really good core accounts right now. We would love to have more in Philly, but we will have our number one account, which will be ourselves in Philly. when we open up.
And that's where you make the money anyway, right? Is
Yeah.
like with
Yeah.
yourself.
Hopefully that's within the next year. I don't know. We'll see though. Depends. As soon as we find a building, it'll start moving.
It's stressful. Don't open
fun.
a brewery, guys.
Cool.
Do.
Well, thank you for coming on. This has
Yeah.
been a lot of fun.
Thank you for
It's nice to
having
actually
us.
like learn about you guys. You know, like
Yeah.
I've been seeing you guys out. I know you guys are like the hottest thing around. So it's like it's cool to like
We're not.
hear about you guys, taste the beer, and kind of see what you guys are all about.
We're just people making
Yeah,
beer.
come to our
We're
office
not-
hours on
yeah.
Instagram, everybody, and you can meet us too.
Yeah, you can come hang out. We can put like weird movies on that I can't publicly announce because I don't want to get fined. We might watch birds sometimes when they're in season. Yeah, I don't know. Come say hi when
They're
when
streaming
we're open.
illegal UFC matches.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just my cats fighting.
Cool. And then you can find us at Brewdat, at the Brewdat Podcast. Subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave a review.
5 stars.
5 stars. And,
Only 5 stars.
Only 5 stars.
or else.
And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Oh yeah.